In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the weekly recap, I just want to say that I did finish the week with 13 wins, 6 losses for a win rate of 68.42, below my 80% average goal, I should say. You can go on Twitter and you can see the timestamps and follow along that way, or you can just go on the past alerts in the on Discord. So I don't think I did post anything yesterday on my Friday's plays. I think I was just kind of like discouraged and just stepped away from the computer for the rest of the night. I didn't want to deal with it. So yeah, because yesterday just didn't work out the way I expected. The week was going good up until probably yesterday. Yesterday I had 4 losers, I believe, 1 overnight and 3 during the day. So, but I mean the losers were because of quad witching, and I'll get over why I did what I did, and just quad witching usually is very, very volatile and very with a lot of volume, and you see massive moves, and we just didn't see those massive moves like I was expecting, and when we did get a little bit of a move, things just went sideways, and I'll get to that when I get to Friday. But with that said, I'll get into Monday. Monday I had 3 winners. They were all SPY. The first one was I had SPY SPY puts at 942, which is right here. I had the 393 puts at 61 cents, and they went to let's see, they went to 75 cents just in that little 14-cent pop. That was just, it looked like it was just going to dive because it's been having resistance in pre-market, or overnight I should say, and then it started to pop. Then it just started to drop below this area, so I ended up grabbing it right in here for a push to break below here, and it did break for a split second and it popped right back up. So that was one. Then I ended up grabbing it again, the 393 puts again at 1038, which should be right 1038, which is right here. Yeah, right in here. Now the reason I grabbed it right here, it broke below this candle here. This is where we had the first one. It came back up, came down, and it broke below this area right here really quick, then it popped back up, then it came sharply back down. And usually what happens is when it comes up and rejects an area like right here and comes sharply back down right afterwards, that usually means it's going to fall through. And it didn't. It popped back up just a little bit. I was fine as long as it didn't break over, this area, the 294.50-ish. So it stayed below it. Then it just it did dump right here. So those went from 63 cents to $1.43. That was a 100% move right there. So that was a nice move, sharp move. I don't remember if there was news there, but I think something happened. I don't remember what. It might have been something with North Korea, I think. Yeah, it was North Korea was on Tuesday, not Monday. So I don't know what that was, but I'm sure it was something to do with the Fed or something like that. But then the last trade of the day was I had SPY puts at 237, which should be right about right here. Now, as you can see, this white line, I had it already going. This is where it rejected twice, and third time. Then it had this topping candle right here, so that's where I ended up grabbing it right here. And they went from 88 cents to $1.52 right there on Monday. So Monday was expiration day. We got it right here. I went deep within the money, not deep in the money. I just went in the money because it was trading right in the 395 area. So I had 396 puts. So 396 is up here. So the puts were already in the money, and they were really cheap for being in the money as that. So I was like, okay, I like this. So that's why they went from 88 cents to $1.52. Now when it dumped back here, I was not expecting it to actually break this area. I was actually looking to short this area right here again, And being midday, 1 o'clock, I just avoided it. And good thing I did, because that would have been a loss, and it just took off. I was not expecting this kind of a move right here. It just caught me off guard, and keeps going back to all-time highs. So it was kind of surprising about that. Then Tuesday was when they had something with North Korea about testing, preparing to carry out first weapons tests by Biden took office. Yeah, I tweeted that. So first one on Tuesday, I had 394 puts on SPY. Right at open. I grabbed them right at open. They went from 80 cents to 87. I mean, it just had this strong run right here, and then it had this run end of day. Then it just pre-market after hours just kept, going up, making new all-time highs and stuff like that. So that was at this point right over here on the hourly. So I was just like, okay, as soon as it opens up, I'm gonna grab puts, and I did. And it came back down, and then it just popped. So I mean, it was just a small, tiny winner. And going into FOMC on Wednesday, this is Tuesday at the time. Usually a couple days before FOMC, it's choppy and not much action happens. So, but I did grab SPY puts again at 394s, because I had 394s at the opening. Just a small little drop, nothing substantial. I thought it was going to just like slam down to this trend line on 200 EMA, which is where they're both at right now. But it didn't. It was just very disappointing. Then the next one, I had 394 puts again at 82 cents at 952, which is right here. Now, it quickly went up above this area right here. Then it just quickly had a quick reject. I remember when this formed, it was very fast. And then it started to go up just a little bit more, not too much, not enough to scare me out. Then it did finally dump. So they went from 82 cents to $1.17 in that move. So just theta just worked its way a little bit on Tuesday, and then it finally dropped. Then the last play I had was Apple puts. Let's see it. Apple. Let's see, the 16th at 155. Okay, right there. 155. 155 right here. Right there. I grabbed it right here. So, oh yeah, because of the inverted cup and handle, you get the cup, you get the handle. I grabbed it right here, thinking it was just gonna slam right through. And it did a little bit. So I mean, it went from 93 cents to $1.22 in this little push. I mean, I remember it was right 155 right here. I grabbed it right here in this candle, and it popped up, and just it popped up a little bit, came back down, came back up, chopped, and it finally went through. I remember it was very aggravating watching this right here, and it did finally break through, going from 93 to $1.22. So that was another flawless day. Then we had FOMC. Now this is where I had 2 losses and 2 wins on Wednesday. Now I had it was a very tough week of trading because of the FOMC and the quad witching, and just they weren't gonna move too much on FOMC day. So yeah, this one would totally caught me by surprise. Now the first play I had 392 puts at 90 cents at 10.05, which is right here. Now I remember this, it came down, popped back up, and quickly rejected again. So they went from 90 cents to $1.17 if you held all the way through, because I know when it got in, it popped back up and slammed back down. So that worked out pretty good. Then I had SPY puts again at 392s at 10.44. It should be right here. And as you can see, it bounced off the RCT trend line, rejected the 37 EMA, and I waited for it to get below this area right here, and I did. Let's see, 12.44. No, that wasn't the area I got. I got it right here. 12.44. Yeah, right here is where I got it. and I got it right here. I'm not quite sure why I got it right there. It might have thought, oh yeah, okay, I see. Because it came up, rejected it, and I tried to get it underneath this area right here. I chased it a little bit, and it dropped a tiny bit, and I managed to sell some at 87 cents, but overall the overall position turned slightly red, so I was able to sell some in here. I was hoping for a bigger move, at least to lower day. It didn't. It quickly came back up, so I was like, okay. I held on to it because of FOMC and stuff like that. So then I grabbed SPX, which I'll keep it on SPY because SPX looks the same. I'll just switch it over, yes. Now I grabbed SPX puts at 216. 216 right here. Now the other one, the SPY one, obviously I got it right here because SPX and SPY looks the same. It's just a different kind of number because I got it right here on SPY. Then I got sold some, then it came back up, and I thought we were actually gonna dump really hard right here into FOMC, but it quickly just rocketed. So, but when it rocketed up, had this long wick right here, and it started to wick in this area above the 39.65, and that's when I ended up grabbing 39.25 puts at $1.30, and this little push down, they went 100%. They went to $2.65. So when you're up 100% on SPX, take your money. Don't wait for those monster gains, because every time you do, it ends up reversing, and that's what it ended up doing. So I know many in the room get out. They understand that if you're up a lot on SPX, just take your money, because it can quickly go against you really fast. And right here it did if you didn't get out, and I got out. I took it. I mean, I'm not sitting around waiting for you. Wait for those monster plays, you get screwed for waiting, like right here when I waited for this monster move here, and this time I didn't. Then I ended up grabbing another one at another SPY puts, 396 puts at 83 cents at 239, which is right here, right in this candle somewhere. Well, I'll switch it to SPY. Here, it was in this candle somewhere. I can even bring it down to 3 minute. And which day was it? Is this Wednesday? Yeah. I got it right 239. 239. Oh yeah, the double top. I got it for the double top right here. I remember that. I remember because we had the SPX right here, and it slammed down. Then it came back up for the double top, and that's when I ended up grabbing the 396 puts at 83 cents, and it double topped right there. So yeah, that's why I ended up grabbing it right there on Wednesday. So that was another loser. There was 2 losers right there out of that day. So I have 2 losers so far for the week. Then I had Thursday. I had 4 winners on Thursday, and they were Baba was first one. Now Baba has had tendency, whenever it has large gap ups, it likes to fill a drop. So every time you see these big gap ups, I like to short them. And I did grab the Baba 232.50 puts at 70 cents. They went to $1.33 right here. I remember that the spread was nasty. A lot of people couldn't really get in because the spread's nasty. But sometimes if you just wait for it and you just throw in an order, it will get filled. So, and that's what I ended up doing. I just threw in an order, and it just magically got filled. And actually, I think that they actually were lower than 70 cents. I don't think I got that great of a fill. I can't quite remember, but yeah, so that was a pretty decent move, even though spreads were an issue. But anytime Bava ends up gapping up like this, it usually likes to drop it open. So I like playing those. But like I said, the problem is the spreads sometimes. The next one was SPY. I had SPY puts, 391 puts at 946 on Thursday. Highlight both of them. Okay, 946 right here. I got it right here again. Same thing, it popped it open. It came back down really, this big red candle right here. tested this low. I thought for sure you get a head and shoulders right here pre-market, and you could see it kind of worked out right there, and it just been chopping around this 395 area. So it popped up, kind of like rejected it because it was support. Now it's resistance, resisted, and it came back down really quick, and I thought for sure she was going to collapse right down here, and it didn't. It came back up. I stayed in it. I didn't even bother to get out. I mean, I just stayed in it because I was being stubborn, and I'm glad I did, because what that actually did pay off. And that hold ended up going from $1.08 to $2.99, so that was a nice little hold. I would have been more. I mean, first of all, I mean, you got SPY is at like all-time high or near all-time high, and just based off the FOMC, there was nothing positive about what he said. Even though the market reacted positive, everything he said was complete BS, and just nothing was positive about it. So I was just like, okay, eventually the market's going to catch on and see right through it, and then so that's why I was like holding, because it was chopping. It popped up and chopped, and it popped up and it just came back down. So there wasn't really no big strong move. It was just like it would chop, then make an ascending wedge and do the same thing here, and it just popped a little bit more, and just a little stair stepping. Then it finally rejected it, and it came back up to the 200 EMA that it finally rejected. So I stuck with it because it was at all-time high, and I didn't think the news from FOMC was even good, and the market would finally catch up to it. Then it did right here, so that ended up being a nice 100% plus winner. So then I had Facebook calls. Now this one, let's see, let me back it up just a little bit. I had Facebook calls at 12:14, which is right 12:14 right here. Now they went from 83 cents to 89 cents. I mean, same thing. It just I was just looking at, okay, it's stair stepping up, and I was like, okay, I'll grab it right here. Then it dropped a little bit to the VWAP, then it quickly rebounded. So I mean, Facebook just looked like it was gonna like have another monster move, and I knew, I was looking at it right here, and based on the market looked kind of weak at the time, I was like, okay, I don't want to grab it. I'll wait. Then it made this move and it chopped. I was like, okay, it's probably gonna make another stair stepping move, so I'll grab it just for fun and see what happens. And it pulled back and it went up, and as soon as it turned green, I got out. And it just didn't look very good, and I'm kind of glad I did get out right here, because that's where SPY sold off and stuff like that. So I was like, whatever. And then I did grab Baba again. I grabbed the 232.50 puts again. This time I grabbed them at 12:34. Let me back that. I hate it when it's too large like that. It's hard for me. The 18th. Is that the day we're on? Okay. 12:34, which is right here. I grabbed it. Came through VWAP. That's where I grabbed it. They went from 70 cents to 90 cents right here. So nothing too substantial, just a small push through VWAP, and just it's been like this the entire week. It's been kind of choppy, and FOMC, I was very shocked that the SPY popped on the news from FOMC saying they were going to buy more bonds or buy more stuff and stuff like that. And if everything is so great, you don't need to buy more. You start releasing more. But no, the market just is. It's so confused. One minute it's worried about inflation, it's worried about rates. The next minute it's not, and then the next minute it is, and it's just like, okay, the market's very bipolar, and it has like a delayed reaction to the news, and that's probably why it ended up dumping right here on Thursday. It's just maybe it finally sank in, and just like, okay, that is not good news. I mean, if everything's so great, then why is this happening then? So stuff like that. I don't know. That's just my thought. But then Friday I did not post. That's right. I did not post on Twitter, so you will not see it on Twitter. But I have to go in the room to see what I did on Friday. Now, I know I had calls overnight because of the big sell-off on SPY. because of this big sell-off right here. I thought for sure we were going to gap up, because usually when you have a big drop like this, like a $5 drop, you'll usually see a gap up, and possibly, and then when it does gap up, it will either take off a drop and fill a gap. But usually it is a gap up the next day after a decent sell-off. And there wasn't, so I had 395 calls, and I grabbed them at, let's see what time I grabbed them. 238. 238, yeah, right in here is where I grabbed them, and it did go up a little bit. It started to look pretty good, and I think that I had thought about selling some right here, and well, let's see if I actually did. Let's see if I actually did. Trying to look on the 18th. Yeah, I did sell some at 249. I sold at 86 cents. I sold some at 86, so I did reduce risk overnight. So it wasn't that. It was. I think it was just a very tiny loser, not that much. Yeah, because I had on Friday, I had 4 losers, and that was one of them, the overnight one. And I had, let's see, I had Baba at 933. Same thing with Baba, gapped up, got it right at the gap up right here. I got it at 40 cents at 933. Right here, it gapped up, and I grabbed it right there. So I don't know how far it went, but let's see, I got it at 40 cents. Yeah, 40 cents, and I ended up selling at 50 cents. So it was only a 10-cent move right there. Yeah, you know, wait a minute. I sold some at 43. Okay, yeah, I remember this. I sold some right here at 43, right in here, and it's waiting for a bigger move, and then it popped back up. Then we had this big knife right here, and this is where I ended up selling it, right in this drop. Now I remember seeing like 75 cents on the tape when I got out. So this, if you held all the way through this madness right here and didn't manage to sell it, you could have got up to 75 cents. So went over 100% on Baba right here. I'm not quite sure what happened right here. There was just a huge knife, but that ended up working out. So yeah, that was I was expecting this kind of a move. Well, not that drastic of a move right there, but I was at least expecting it to like come down to 200 EMA of the PDC previous day close right here, but it didn't. It popped back up, and it finally ended up dumping. So I did unload the rest right there. So that was the only winner of the day. Now the losers, I had 4 losers on Friday. So the losers were basically bracing for quad witching. So one of them I had, Facebook kept taking off. I saw it keep making higher highs, and I did not want to chase it. The market was not that strong. I mean, you look at, I gotta switch over anyway. So let's unlink this, let's switch to 10 minutes, bring SPY up. Now see, the SPY yesterday just wasn't strong. Let me back it up just a little more. SPY is dropping and Facebook is ripping, and that's how it's been the last couple of days with Facebook. And I don't like buying calls when SPY is dropping. So SPY is dropping, it's chopping, it's not looking that great right here. It is, even though it did break up VWAP and it broke out over VWAP, but I didn't want to buy calls at this point because SPY was chopping down here, and it looked like it was weak and it was gonna end up dropping more, and I didn't want to buy, because every time I end up buying something that's going against the market, it finally catches up and just ends up collapsing, and I do not want to do that. So finally I did grab Facebook 287.50 puts at $1 at 1043, which is right here, right on this first red candle. And did I even sell any that I had? No, I didn't have. That was the first one. The first loss was that, and it just chopped and chopped and chopped, and it was starting to look pretty good. I mean, it's starting to have a round top right here. Then it looked like it was finally going to collapse right here, but it didn't. It got bought up right away, and it came back down. I was like, okay, it's finally going to do it. And it just chopped in this 250, 290 area, and it just kept bouncing in and out of 290, and it was very, very annoying. It's right here, it looked like it was going to dump. Then it looked like it was going to dump here. Then this is where they had the news with the antitrust and other things. They had a couple news things that happened, and Facebook just didn't really care. Usually it will dump a little more, then it will rebound, but it didn't even dump that much. It was very, very annoying, because I really thought that would have been a banger of a play, but it didn't. So I ended up holding it, thinking, okay, quad witching is coming. It's at 290. I mean, usually the past quad witchings, you end up seeing like on Facebook, you end up seeing like a $5, $6, $7 move. You see massive moves. I mean, you could see a knife drop all the way down to the 283 areas, no problem. Every quad witching I've seen has been a massive, massive move. And so I was like, okay, I'll hold it. It will probably rebound. So I was like, okay, in case the market does manage to pop, because over here at this time, the market was starting to look a little weak, but I was afraid, okay, if it's starting to look weak, everyone's probably going to be in puts. At that point in time, I had puts, Facebook puts, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to hedge against it. And if the market does manage to pop, I will make some off from it. Now, I do remember that the SPY calls I had for a hedge for 22 cents, I had 392 calls at what time did I get them? At 239. So it was 239 right here. I got it. And they did go, I think they actually went 100%. I think they actually went like 40%, 40 cents plus. But I didn't grab it. I held on to it, waiting for quad witching and to hedge against my puts I had, because I had Facebook puts. And if they did pop, then SPY would look pretty good. So then I had Amazon. I grabbed another one, so I had two puts going. I had the Facebook puts I had earlier in the day. Then I had the Amazon ones. I had Amazon right here. Now the last quad witching the last time I played Amazon on quad witching, it was ended up being like a 4,000% winner. So I was like, okay, if it does, I'm gonna grab it. And this could be a massive play. So I ended up grabbing 25 puts at 54 cents at let's see what time I grabbed them. 246. So it was right in this area right here. And in fact, they were up pretty good. I got 54 cents, and they went to like, I think like 80 cents in this area right here. But like I said, I didn't want to cash out and scalp. I wanted that big play, that quad witching, because usually I've played a lot of the quad witchings, and they're usually very, very volatile. So as you can see, I had Amazon puts, thinking, okay, if the market dumps, it's going to go down here, and they could possibly go in the money. And if the market rips, that I have the SPY calls, and I will win it that way. So, but ironically, SPY dumped at the end of the day, and Amazon popped, and Facebook stayed flat. I mean, I was hedged against it, because usually if there's a sell-off or a massive pop, they're all going to run together. The fangs are going to run together. Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, they're all going to run with SPY, especially on quad witching, because that's just how it's been. And I've never seen Facebook dump and Amazon pop on quad witching before. And I thought at that point in time that I was hedged perfectly. I thought I had all my bases covered, and I didn't. Just the positions I had, one stayed flat. Facebook is the one that stayed flat. Amazon, I had puts. It went a pop. Then I had SPY calls, and then it dropped, and it just boggled me. And that's basically why I just was like, okay, I've had enough for today. I need to get away from the computer, because this was something that I couldn't believe my eyes that I saw this. I mean, anything can happen in this market, and the market's been acting very, very weird all week long. I was not expecting quad witching to be like this, and I don't usually hedge on quad witching. I usually just take puts, because usually it dumps hard, because of rebalancing and stuff like that. You have options, you have futures and stuff like that, all expiring on the same day, and usually you end up seeing a big big dump, but once in a while you'll see a big pop. So that is why I hedged with SPY calls, and it just did not work out. So, and like I said, you don't know what's going to happen until after it happens. And I thought by having SPY calls and Amazon puts, I was properly hedged. And 9 out of 10 times, I would even say 99 out of 100 times, that would have been a perfect hedge. And this is just that fluke time it did not work. So I ended up losing all 3 positions on quad witching because of the way it turned out. And it was kind of a pisser, and I was not happy about it. I just was, at first I wasn't, I was more like, what is happening? What the heck is happening? Then after it's all said and done, I was just, I can't believe that happened, and that did what it did. So I was very annoyed by that, and stuff like that. So um, basically, the week wasn't too bad as far as trading. What got me was the quad witching. That is what really hit me on stats and the end of the week. So quad witching is just one of those anomalies that just happens a few times a year, and it's hard to predict. And you either play it and make good money, or you just lose it. And just it was a loss yesterday. So hopefully next week won't be as bad. I know that Powell's going to speak a few times, so I'm sure that's going to be fun to deal with. It just seems like every week it's Powell, and it chops until he talks, and it's very annoying to trade when Powell's running his mouth all the time. So yeah, so that was the recap. That is what I did with quad witching, and 99% of the time, the hedge I had and the setup I had for Friday would have been a big winner. But for some reason, it just worked out very, very weirdly, and just glad the week is over, and I can't wait for next week. Hopefully next week will be more normal, or at least better than it has been. So with that said, thanks for watching the weekly recap. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully to see you in the room if you're not in it already. Thank you.